Hello traders everywhere. Adam Houston coming to you live from the summit in Utah. I'm sorry you're not here with us, but we've had a lot of fun, and it is Thursday, the 29th of March, coming to the end of the first quarter, and it's been quite a quarter. So let's get started looking at the markets we're looking at in our portfolio manager. And starting with the S&P 500, we are plus 85, so even with today's pullback, we're still in an uptrend after 3 days down. It depends on how we're going to close on Friday, and that's going to be the big picture. But generally speaking, the trend is still on a plus roll, and we expect it to close higher in the next day or two. So let's see how that closes out at the end of the month tomorrow, and still positive. So let's go to our next market. The next market we're looking at is the Dow. And the Dow Jones Industrial, still the same thing. The support level we talked about is still hanging in there. And I think this is definitely a key level to look at right here. And that's right around the 13,000 level. I think that's going to hold. And I think tomorrow we'll see this market actually probably pop up. All of our trade triangles are positive, and I'll clear the screen. I'll put those on there for you. And just very simple. We just click on our monthlies, obviously very positive, and our weeklies as well. So everything is definitely a go with our trade triangles. Two trade triangles up. We don't look at the daily one. Remember that. We only look at the weekly and the monthly, and they're both very positive. So let's go to our next market. And the next market we're looking at is, let me just clear this off the screen. And the next market we're going to be looking at is the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ was like the Dow and also like the S&P 500 was under pressure, but if we look at today's action, it looks very much like a doji, which means we've got an indecision both by the bulls and the bears, and I think this is going to be probably the low pullback we're seeing. And tomorrow, I think, as it's the end of the month, I think we'll see some window dressing, and these markets close higher for the month. So let's just see, and higher for the week as well. So let's just see how we close out tomorrow. Next market is going to be silver. Silver, as you know, we've been a little bit negative on this because of our weekly trade triangle. Longer term on the monthly, it's still positive, but we have a doji line. Again, this is sort of an indecision line. We're coming down to being oversold in this market, and I think we're seeing a sort of trading range. We talked about this before, moving sideways, possibly creating that energy field we're looking for, but definitely resistance around the 3350 level. And we need to clear out of this range-bound trading we're seeing right now. As you may remember, we're looking for this market to make its cyclic low towards the end of the month, and of course we're coming right to that now. So I think this could be a low period as we look back in the future, but we need to see our weekly trade triangle kick in and go green for us. So let's clear the screen and go to our next market. Next market we're looking at is going to be gold. Very emotional market, and as you see, it's had 3 days down, and we are into that sort of rhythm. We thought that the 1700 level, which is right here, was going to be resistance. It turned out to be a key resistance level, and I think the market needs to move over that level before we get going on the upside again. But generally speaking, this market is in a downtrend, and we need to see more confirmation of this market before we can get excited on the long side of this market. So let's just go to our next market. That's copper. Copper actually is created a doji line, so I think for the moment, the copper market's still in a general longer-term uptrend, and this whole several months we've been going on since February has just sort of been an accumulation period. And I think we need to move over these levels. The 395 level is definitely a resistance, and I think that's going to be a very key level to move over. So let's just mark that as resistance at 395. Generally speaking, we've got a doji line right today, which means a period of indecision, and I expect that's going to be resolved tomorrow with the market actually closing up. We're also in an oversold level on the Williams %R. You can see that right here. And similar to this period here, when we did see a little bounce, I think we'll see a little bounce again on the upside. So let's clear the screen, go to our next market. The next market we're looking at, of course, will be the crude oil market. Now this is really interesting, and I want to really spend some time looking at this today because I think this is an opportunity that you don't see that often. We had a very big down day. I would imagine the open interest in futures has dropped dramatically as people have moved out of this market because it looks like it's a breakdown. Here's what we're looking at. First of all, we're looking at a very strong cyclic formation. I'm just going to just put these in real quickly. Here, 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 and this is going to be a cycle low. Now also, I'll scope this in even closer because I want to show you just how this market has been acting and how I think it's going to act. So let's just go closer in. 1 month. Actually, let's go 3 months, it'd be easier. But if you look at this market now and you just count the days, and this is what we're doing here. There's a low here, and if you count this day here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So it's 7 days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days here. So I think either today or tomorrow it's going to be making a low. Now I think today could be the day, and I'll tell you the reason why. Longer term, we still have our monthly, so the trend is still up. Longer term, if we just put on our Fibonacci tool and we go from the very highs here down to the lows, we're right in the Fibonacci zone, the 61.8% zone. So this was where the market should begin to find support. It's a 7-day low, also a longer term cyclic low, and also we're oversold like we were here, here, here. So I think this market probably will be doing better next week as we move into April, but for the most part I think this is going to be a cyclic low, and we're still looking for this market longer term based on the formation we've seen here, which is a huge base energy field, and we think this is capable of going much, much higher. So generally speaking, I think we have to be positive on this market longer term. Today's action was very disappointing for a lot of people. I think they got out, but generally speaking, I think we're going to see this market move and go higher. You just have to look at the cycles in this market to see how this has been disappointing to a lot of people. We had a cycle here, 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 and this is where we are now. I think this is going to be a very strong kind of move like this, and I think we're going to go higher. And we're targeting, once we're over the 108, 110 level, we'll be looking at the 120 to 125 zone. That's our target zone. But again, we've had the Fibonacci pullback. It's a cyclic low. We are oversold. So chances are this market is going to reverse in the next couple of days. So let's clear the screen and go to our next market. And there's a couple of stocks we're going to be looking at. We're pretty interesting today. We'll be sharing that with you. So let's go to our next market. That's the USO. That's the oil ETF. It's down, hit the Fibonacci numbers perfectly today. We're looking for that to improve, obviously, with the cost of crude oil. So next market is the euro. The euro is a little bit on the defensive, but nonetheless, our index that we track, the dollar index on the NIBOT, is still in a trending, actually it's in an emerging trend to the downside. Hasn't done too well, and I think we have to watch that very carefully now. So let's look at our next major market, and that's going to be a Reuters Jefferies CRB Index. Took a big dive today down to the lower end of its trading range, and if you look at this on the Fibonacci turn, I'm pretty sure it's right close to a Fibonacci retracement. So let's just pull it from here to here, and we're right on the numbers there. So let's just close that in to 3 months, and you can see we just hit the number which comes in right at the Fibonacci level. So this is going to be a very important day tomorrow and on Monday as this market sort of regroups, but we are oversold, and I think we'll see this market probably bounce from these levels, but that's how we see it. Generally speaking, the longer term trend is positive, short term, intermediate term, negative. So let's go to the next market. And the next market is the stock we discovered today using our smart scan. The monthly trade triangle just kicked in at 1708. We're currently trading at 1670. If you're a Market Club member, you would have seen this come up on your screens. So let's just scope this in a little bit further because we are looking for a target zone in this market. And this is the formation we looked at that I think is a very popular one. And how we see this is there's a high here, and what we call a pivot point right there. So if you just measure from this point here, and I think the levels I'm looking at, this is 1708 on the on the downside here. 08, and the high was 2079, which is 2079 right here. So if we measure that down, flip it down, we're looking for a target zone of around 14, which takes it back to these levels right here. So that would be the target zone. It's a monthly trade triangle. All of our trade triangles, monthly, weekly, daily. Not so much the daily because we don't pay that much attention, but certainly the monthly and the weekly are negative, indicating that this market should move down to these levels. So we'll see how that works out. Next market we're going to be looking at is another market that's on the move today, and that's going to be a stock, I believe it's Aetna, and no, it's Red Hat, excuse me, Red Hat. Huge move up today. And look at where we are in the trade triangles. The trade triangles actually signaled this way back here. Let me just take that off. We signaled that on the October 14th at 47.10. Market's trading at 60. And you can see if we put our trade triangles in, our weekly trade triangles in, you can see we picked it up on the pullback here, which is a nice trade. We got out at 47.23. Small profit. We got back in at 43.50, very significantly lower, 10% lower, and now it's 60 and trading higher. So it's a big move today, up, let's see, 18.5%. So that's a great move today on that stock. So let's go to our next market. And the next market is Aetna, as I mentioned to you, another stock on the move. And that's up right now. We're currently trading about 7.1% higher. But look, we picked this up on the 27th, which was 2 days ago at 47.11. And so that's worked out really very nicely. And this market has a very large, what we consider to be a very large energy field just below it, which is right here. So this has got months and months and months of action. We've finally cleared over that level. So we're on our way, I think, to much higher levels, 34 to 46.12. I would say we're probably looking somewhere around the 60 level on this stock. So that would be our target zone. Let's see how that works out. And let's clear the screen again. I think that's all we have for today, but let me just check my portfolio real quickly because I think I may have thrown one extra one in there. Let's just take a look. Nope, that's it. We're coming to you live from our summit in Utah. I hope you can join us with our next summit. We're very excited about that. We have a lot of very interesting folks here, and they've been learning a lot about our trade triangles and also about options, which is really interesting too. So Adam Hewison, there'll be no broadcast tomorrow, I don't think. We'll try to do one, but I'm not sure I can do it. And we'll see you on Monday back in our corporate headquarters in Maryland. Have a great weekend if I don't talk to you later. Thank you.